What's going on, everybody? I think we have a pretty fun topic to cover in this video today. So we're going to determine exactly how fast the Suzuki DRZ400 is. Now, this bike is known for many things, as you know, but its raw speed is not one of them. As they say, it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow, and there's no statement that applies more to the DRZ400 than that one right there. So we're going to take this prehistoric beast out and beat on it and see exactly what it can do. This specimen specifically is a 2019 Suzuki DRZ400SM. It is mostly stock. It does have a JD jet kit with the Yoshimura RS2 exhaust pipe and 3x3 mod, of course. And it also has some Continental TKC 80/50/50 dual sport tires on it. And I only mention that because they are heavier than your standard street tire. And it is rotating mass, so I just want you to know they're on there. Everything else is stock. Final drive ratios are stock, so it's mostly a stock bike. Now, if you get online and you try to determine how fast this thing is by just scouring the internet, the answers are kind of all over the place. You get anywhere from like 5.1 seconds to 5.4 seconds to 60. So we're going to see exactly what this thing can do. And I'm going to answer a question that I have personally, and that is, if you're in the scenario where you're going from 0 to whatever speed, you just need to get there as fast as possible, which gear do you start in? Do you start in first gear or second gear? Because crossing that 60-mile-an-hour point occurs in third gear. So if you start in first, you're going to fight a wheelie and you're going to have to shift twice to get to 60. If you start in second, you can basically go wide open, feather the clutch as much as you have to, and boom, you shift once, you're at 60. So which of those scenarios is actually quicker? How fast is this bike? And if you stay all the way to the end, we might even discover what this thing can do topped out, wide open. Let's get into this.
Today we're going to do some 0 to 60 times, and I've already done this once. I made a short about it. And I did launches in second gear. I only did one, and it wasn't the best. We're going to do a little different this time. We're going to do multiple runs, and we're going to find, kind of what our top time is. So I'm going to try it both launching in first gear and launching in second gear, and we're going to get to the bottom of which is actually quicker. Run number 1, first gear. Yeah, big wheelie. Run number 2. Much better on the wheelie. So run number 3, first gear launch. Went ahead and took that out a little further. Okay, second gear. See what happens. Gonna try to keep the RPMs high, and hopefully it goes well. All right, that was a second gear launch. It went way better than it should have on the first try. Realistically, I should probably do 3 first gear launches, 3 second gear launches, and then go back and do another first gear, after I've, got the practice in. Second gear. She just doesn't have the beans, man. It's not going to do anything funky on you in second. It's not really going to wheelie. Not unless you've got a heavily modified bike. 0 to 60 run number 3 from a second gear launch. And here's first gear. Click it up into second. Looks like we have plenty of space. Check for traffic. This is actually run number 4 for second gear. All right, we're gonna go around this corner. We're gonna get it in first gear, and we're gonna do one final first gear launch for a 0 to 60 time. We're in first gear. Let's do this.
All right, the results are in and listed here on the screen in chronological order and separated by the gear in which each trial was ran. And right away you can see first gear, first run, 6.01 seconds. Are you crazy? That is slow as snot. But I think we knew it would be. There was a big wheelie in first gear and that's going to slow you down. And that's the whole game you play in first gear, is really managing that wheelie and getting out of the hole cleanly. But you can see in second gear, trial number 1, 5.23 seconds. That is also the slowest run that was performed in second gear. And so what I think I want to do is, clearly there's a learning curve, there's practice involved, and I think I want to scrap the first run of each scenario and go with the top 3 times, because I think that's a little bit more fair. The numbers are clearly more consistent in the top 3 of each scenario. So on this screen we have listed the top 3 runs in each scenario, and you can see that it's looking like first gear is going to be a little bit quicker, but ironically we hit 5.18 seconds and 5.14 seconds in each gear by starting in each gear. And like, what are the odds of that happening? I feel that's kind of wild. And on this screen we see the averages. The average 0 to 60 time that I was able to achieve by starting in first gear is 5.14 seconds. And by starting in second gear, 5.18 seconds. So a 4/100ths of a second difference. And I thought that it would be a much larger gap than that. And so this surprises me. But one thing that really surprises me is I thought second gear would be faster because of avoiding that gear shift and everything that we mentioned. But no, it appears as though starting in first gear is the fastest way to get to 60. Okay, so we're at the end of this video, and as I promised, if you made it to the end, we're going to see how fast this thing can go, wide open.
Here we go. We hit 95. We might have been able to squeeze a couple more out of it. I might have been able to tuck a little further. Aerodynamics is key for such a small amount of horsepower. It's about as aerodynamic as a brick. And it's hot and humid right now too. If we were in a different location with a little bit better air density, maybe we'd make a little more horsepower. Lots of variables. It's fun to think about. If anybody else has done this, please leave a comment below. Let's see who has the top speed.